Hello there, guys, and welcome to my crackbook, which will be uploaded on YouTube. Thank you to Amber, who does that for us. And is going to be built up over the next couple of weeks with proper foundations, because I do believe that my message needs to be heard. I did come on live and start something a minute ago, but as you know, I'm on Wi-Fi due to my BT being cut off, and I haven't managed to set my phone up yet, so it is on Wi-Fi. So if it does cut out, it's on a short link Wi-Fi linked to the council office out the front of my house at the moment. So anyway, I want to address this matter with Lisa Bartle finally and hit it hard, because I've had enough, and it comes in line with Quaden Bailey and everything that's happened, Bayliss, sorry, and everything that says, please don't take it personally if I get your name wrong. How am I meant to remember thousands of people's names? So it comes in line with what's happened with Quaden, with the fact that his mother had previous media on her when she spoke out about dwarf syndrome, and then because of persistent bullying, she then released a video in, I think it was in 2014, and then the next video, obviously everything has hit now. So this is a matter that's obviously been going on for the family all of their lives, really, from the very first day that they brought their son into the world and understood that he had this complex condition. They've obviously posted things previously, but what happens is when somebody goes out in the media and they get so blessed, there comes a storm of people that want to crush it. Envy, jealousy, greed, nastiness, just the fact that people don't want people to become the person that they will once become. And that's the devil's clause, really. He's not interested in who we are now. He's interested in who we become in the bigger picture of it. And he wants to make sure that people who are players within knocking him out, because he already knows that he's lost this war. He knows that. It's exactly the same as Terminator. And being that G5 is here, so we are now entering into the world of AI and all of that. It's here. It's been passed. It's already building. All frackers really need to move to G5. You need to do your own research. I'm not here to talk about G5 because I've got my own personal battles with all of the matters with G5 because of my relationship with my first actual one she married, but there was previous partners. So my first actual stepfather, who worked for the army and was also a computer programmer, and pretty much told me all this long before I ever watched Terminator. So I have my own issues. So for people who watching, saying I'm wiping my nose, no, I'm not a coke addict. I have just had the flu. I want to use these two Lucozade bottles as an example, just something that came to my mind a moment ago. You see two Lucozade bottles. Now, if you saw a child, or even me, you'd go, hey, Kelly, what are you doing drinking Lucozade? These are two Lucozade bottles written on the side. They have orange written on them. I do believe you can see that there is two very different colours, because one has Ribena in, which is not good for you either, and one has orange. So they have caudals. I don't even know if it's Ribena. They were brought round by Little, who's staying here tonight. She's not so much Little, really, is she? But just to go to show how people judge a book by its cover. The same as people who said that Quaden was 18 just because he was at a birthday party of his older sibling, and if you can see his other siblings, you'll see that obviously there are older siblings as well as a baby. And then there is the champagne drinking, which was actually appetizer, which is in the photograph in the back. I'm sure if people realise that appetizer is fizzy apple juice, then maybe somebody will put a bottle of champagne in the background just to make sure, because you can edit and do things like that. Now, I want to just explain something very quickly. In 2010, in January, I was baptised again. I was baptised at King's Church in January 2010, where obviously my vision was blessed with me. Those without a vision shall perish. In 2010, in October, my business model was released in what is basically just called a press release. So basically I wrote a press release for Challenge Britain, and that press release was picked up by the editor of Chorley Guardian. He decided to run with it to shoot a bullet, and during that time I got trolled. The severity of the level that I was trolled at led to my cousin, God rest his soul, my cousin Daniel. If you ever hear motorbikes, I always say it's my cousin Daniel, that's who I'm always talking about. Was working at Tesco's unpacking all of the paper articles when it first ever come out. And somebody turned around and said, God, a woman like that should be shot. And he went bang, literally bang, and was fired on the spot. So people also came out saying women like that shouldn't be allowed to have children. My mother is the person who came out with the main trolling, because obviously she was concerned that I was going to talk about my childhood traumas, but obviously it was never meant to be about that. It was meant to be about the training manual that was going into the benefit system to give people choices, to enable them to come out of the system rather than become dependent on the system. Hello there, Maria. So yes, I got trolled, and I got trolled massively. I got trolled by my local community. I got trolled by all the big wigs. I was all over football websites. I was all over. It was everywhere. If there was a blog, people were writing about it because it was called Benefit Britain, and obviously the Daily Mail hacked it. So when I'd left Preston and had the car going down to London, which was all paid for by who was it paid for? It was paid for by, it doesn't exist anymore, Daybreak. So basically Daybreak paid for me to hire the car to go down. They gave me a larger car as well because it's luxury travel, because that's the TV was what they do. They paid for us to stay in a hotel, and they gave us 2 days in London because I did the TV show. So now obviously I got, with as you can see with Quaden, when someone goes out in the media, there is adversary to everything. As I've said, there is a spiritual war going on that the eyes can't see, the ears can't hear, the heart can't feel, the mind can't link to, only if you understand that this realm that we live in is a three-dimensional world. You would have to be somebody who takes a massive amount of time out for meditation, who lives with a 100% clean temple, and I mean the water is completely pure. They don't smoke, they don't, put chemicals, they don't do their shopping at Asda. I'm talking about somebody who would have to be completely raw fooding it, who would have to be eating 100% off the land, grown with their own hands and heart and love. For somebody to be truly 100% connected to the source, that when the Holy Spirit comes in, if there's a whiff of fucking sin in there, mate, he fucking pops out. And the Holy Spirit is a cleansing. Discernment is deliverance is the most powerful thing that we can do, because it delivers us from the things that are around us that aren't meant to be in our lives, and we can see through the deception that's going on around us, which is why I stay so strong in what's going on. And I'm glad this is going on with Craven, because it's been a great example of how, when somebody gets opportunities, like when I went out in the media, then obviously the opportunity came straight away with I'm trying to remember his name, because I'll keep remembering Greg Zecker. Not Greg Zecker's from another world. That was the world that I created myself. But through the opportunities of the media, what's his name? James Greenwell. So obviously James Greenwell came in to mentor me, who was the director of the One Group, which was for Protocol. And that was how I got involved with the Olympics, and that's why everything was produced around the Olympics at that time. So obviously when you do things like that, opportunities knock on the door, don't they? Because you put yourself out there. Life doesn't come to you. People don't come and knock on your door and say, hey, I want to give you an opportunity. You've got to put yourself out there. If you don't have your vision, then you will perish. It's as simple as that. The Bible says it, everybody says it. Your vision is your vision. My vision is my vision. It was a gift to me. It wasn't a gift to anybody else. It was a gift to me. And with that vision comes a responsibility and a duty. And that is one that brings me much adversary, because it shines a light on much within this world if you get where I stand, where my burden is, where my backpack is, where my responsibility and duty is in this world. And because I go up against something that's about challenging the dynamics of family, it's about reuniting family. I do stand for man and woman. I do stand for husband and wife. I always will do. I don't have a ring on my finger and I'm a hypocrite, but if I'm a hypocrite, then learn from it. You know, you're not here to judge me. That's the thing. I'm not here to judge you and you're not here to judge me. But it goes on. Elijah, he just said, "Get away from me, you little bully. You little bully." It's the way he says it, "You little bully." I love it. It's so sweet. It's like, yeah, not just are you a bully and I'm not going to big you up, but you're a little bully. I just think that's just spot on. And he does. And me and Dean make him stand up to us. We laugh and giggle about it. We really push him, make him sort of like challenge us and really sort of like stand his ground with us. And we do it with both of them. And he's like, yeah, and he just flicks his finger as well. He's like, "Get away from me, you little bully." So when he goes out in the park and they start to come away, he's just, "Get away, you little bully." And that's pretty much what these people are at the moment. So that chapter of my life was over. So I'd been through the media storm. I'd been through the crash and the thing, and I'd, you know, sort of dealt with my tail between my legs because I ended up with slip discs with a police officer that crashed into my back the day before Liam's birthday, just as everything was, you know, and obviously then I fell out of private rental. I was a single mother at the time after coming out of DV. I was on a challenge because I was a size 18 and I wanted to get back into a size 10. You know, I wanted to think about dating, finding my husband and picking myself back up again. And then, of course, George Osborne come in and sort of said, "Look, you know, we're going to kick the arse of mothers that have got 4 kids, more than 2 kids and all of this." And I'm going, oh, shit, like, what am I going to do? Professor Bird had just retired. I had no medical support. You know, my mum had fucking abandoned me on the move down south. And, you know, I was like, fuck, shit, what am I going to do? So, of course, I'm at this place called Save the Family. And then all of a sudden, a child's taken off site, and it's like, whoa, 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 whoa. You know, I'd already been down to London and had the experience with my friend whose daughter had her daughter taken. And I'm like, whoa, you know, why don't these parents fight for their kids? Like, seriously, if anyone touched my kids, I'll fucking kill them, we say. But, you know, the reality is, you know, I didn't know what to do. And just as many other parents don't know what to do when you get that knock on the door from the police and all of a sudden you've got somebody in front of you that is able to restrain you, bully you, pin you down, drag your children out. You've seen the videos, you've seen how these people do it, you've seen the levels that they go to, and they come in uniform. I've even had a conversation today over at the shops because I'm not happy about this matter with Lawrence. I've got to get an email done tonight because I'm sending it all off and stuff about all of this because it's a bit crazy. And even she said, when I was talking to one of the other shopkeepers, and she said, "I'm really sorry when you come in and you talk to us and I'm under all these GI laws and stuff." She said, "When I'm out of uniform, it's different. I can talk to you about it a bit more and stuff." And I said, "Yeah, but that's the problem with the world, isn't it?" And I think even John Wedger has made a comment about it as well. You know, that's the problem. And I said it when the police knocked on my door to, you know, threaten to fucking shoot me. Well, they didn't literally threaten to actually shoot me. What they insinuated is if I went for the 3 minutes that the American government would shoot me. And but they asked me to stand down, and it's like, and they made the same comment, "It's above my pay scale." And that's the problem with the world, everything's above their pay scale. But to help somebody doesn't cost anything. To hinder somebody could cost them everything. And it's lucky that, you know, Quaden's got, you know, such family support and a lot of support from people who, one, know his age, two, know that the opportunities came as a result of building his confidence through all of this, that the money has come, but the costs of Quaden's life, you know, over in America, over in Australia, they don't have the same welfare system that we have here. You know, my friend Monique, that you all know, who went to United Nations about all of this stuff for Autism Women Matter. You know, her and her husband for her autistic sons were working 3-4 jobs to be able to pay for his speech therapy, and they were citizens of Australia, and because she married an Englishman, she had to come over here to be able to get him the correct speech therapy. And he's gone back to Australia, obviously, you know, speaking, but he couldn't have that availability in Australia because it's already privatized, like America is already privatized, you know. So, you know, everybody has their personal battles, and people come out and talk about them for a reason. And it's because we're getting hammered. It's because we're getting bullied. You know, I come out about EDS because I get bullied. You know, the reason that, I don't know if Amber's put the video out already, but the reason that I filmed my feet that day and people were going, oh, you know, what's it with all the feet? You know, you haven't got me for skating and going, oh well, you know, how if she's got EDS, how can she skate? I've had it my whole life. She's got EDS, how's she playing netball? She's got this. It's my life. I live it. I'm the one that has to pay my bills. I'm the one that has to put the nappies on my children. I'm the one that has to provide my life. I work pro bono for every single one of you. I'm here pro bono. You're not putting in. I could set these lives up so you have to subscribe and pay and pop in and watch my lives. It's so easy to do on here. You know, it's called monetization. It's called advertisation. I could literally have an advert popping up on here every, you know, 14 minutes or something. If I do long lives, or if they're short lives, I'll get you at the beginning. It's easy to do. It's not about the money for me. Yes, it's about a lifestyle. And of course it's about a lifestyle. I want a lifestyle for my boys. You know, Shiloh is going to need a pro, and I mean a pro Olympic. And actually I have access to the people that I need. I completely forgot because I have so many different spaces in my head. And as I unlock them, it's okay. I'll have the people to contact for Elijah, for Shiloh. And not only that, don't forget that Tony Hawks is now involved in Red X. So it's going to be quite easy to get hold of Tony Hawks for him as well. And people will look at him and go, yes, 100%, I'm willing to invest my time in this lad because the outcome is going to be amazing for them. And people invest time in people. MPs are MPs because people invest time in them. They have to have people who sign to say, yes, we believe in them. People become directors because they have secretaries. They have people who, you know, sign and declare with them. People have trust funds. People have affiliations to people because they build up a reputation. Now, when I turned into all of this side of stuff, not this, because I was with this way before all of that, way before even Start Up Britain, Step Up Britain, Challenge Britain, fucking all of that, even just Kelly Can, you know, this existed way before. I was involved in this in 2007. In fact, I came into it years before that as well, because I had the two younger boys at the time, and I was with Graham. Graham wasn't as supportive as getting involved in some of the other things I got involved with, like, you know, Helping Hands, and, you know, I was mother goosing and sponsoring kids going to college and university in other countries and things. So, you know, I was involved in that a long time ago. I got involved in things from school, fuck's sake, you know. I was sponsoring freaking donkeys from free, cubs, tigers, going to zoos, and, you know, things like that. What Make-A-Wish Foundation, all of them things, you know. I've always done stuff for things like that, always. I saved the Knackerjack toad when I was at school, for fuck's sake, you know. So at the end of the day, nobody can judge anybody by external period, as I've shown you by the Lucozade bottle. You know, nobody can judge a book by its cover. Nobody can look at me and not see that I have an internal challenge that I live with every day. It's called, you know, you can't walk that. You even other EDS people can't walk my life. You know, we've got somebody who heads EDS. I'm not getting into the fact that she is lesbian and has a lesbian relationship, but she's not giving birth to children. Therefore, she won't ever understand the battles that I have, because she's never gone through carrying a child in her womb and separating her hips and all of the challenges that come with hemorrhage. She will never ever understand that, and nor will she ever understand the pain it feels to then have your child ripped from your womb. So, you know, so to wrap this up, so I went from going out in the media in 2010, my life completely crashing, trying to rebuild, finally finding a safe bolt. Then at that safe bolt, having my two children then unlawfully, unnecessary and illegally taken, and I have the evidence to prove it, and I am going to present that. They said that Ehlers-Danlos syndrome was the easiest condition to claim to have, and that I put my career before my children. I wasn't even in my career. I was getting challenged and battered by Save the Family because I wanted to work from home from the laptop and rebuild, and they wanted me on benefits so they could charge the 1,500 a week rent that they were getting for us, which they could still get while I was on work because I was on tax credits. So they would have still got that money anyway. So anyway, I then posted, and this is the day after Sid Higgerty had actually posted me Sabine McNeill's petition to the EU, and I was connected to him through Lawful Rebellion. I wasn't connected to Sabine. I wasn't connected to Belinda. I didn't know any of the people in any other world. I didn't know Scott. I didn't know any of these people. Wasn't connected to them. Didn't know them. It just so happens that a couple of them knew me from previous media when I was at Downing Street. How did I get to Downing Street? I was at Save the Family. I'd posted, and one of the mums from an organisation called Family Army brought me a meditation book. They turned up in anonymous masks and they took me to Prestatyn, where I wasn't meant to cross that border because my children had previously been there, but they weren't there at that time. I don't have any beefs or gripes with the matter of individuals, and I'm not here to slate individuals. What I am saying is, at that time, somebody decided to then post up the previous media from 2010 to say that I actually still had Aaron and Faith, and that actually this was a scam. And they called me a scam artist. What that did is that cut me off and separated me from most of the networks and alienated me at a time that I needed people. Many of these different groups turned their back on me. Many of these groups actually took their time from me and then went and set up their own subgroups. When I first came into it, the only ones that existed was Ian Joseph, which was Runaway. And prior to going to Downing Street, I ended up on Andy Preacher's radio station because I was at Sarah's from Family Army with, what's her name? Stella McCartney. I don't know because people don't have their real names, but she was known as Stella at the time. It was the person who said on Traffic, a child is taken every 20 minutes. It was actually recorded with me, and then they recorded and kept. There was a whole problem over that because I was given an opportunity to speak at Screaming to be Heard, which was where I then went after that. So I did a radio show with Andy, where they had Ian Joseph on, and I said to Ian Joseph, but I can't run away because they've got my kids and I have other kids. What other solution is there? And there was nothing. So I fucked that off and I turned to John Hemmings. John Hemmings claimed to be Families for Justice, and that's what I was looking for because the orders were actually rubber stamped for care and placement orders. There was many other paths that I could have taken in this, but I hadn't been educated with that at that time, and I didn't have that knowledge at that time. So therefore, there was nothing I could do at that time. Therefore, I decided to walk. So at the same time, we created Walk for Justice, which ended up with the Christmas at Cameron's and all of that other stuff that came through it, got involved with Fathers for Justice, New Fathers for Justice, all of those, Human Worth, all of the different brands, all of the different subheadings, Occupy London, all of them that existed way before I ever came onto this track. Some of these people have been around for 30 years campaigning about state kidnap, child trafficking, paedophilia, satanic rituals. I was just a mum from suburban living that turned up at Scott. That was the next one after Screaming to be Heard. And I turned up at Scott. I literally told my son, I'm going to London. I don't care how I'm getting there. I'm going to London. And I left in the middle of the night. And I literally jumped on the train and got myself to London, where I was expecting to see thousands of people. And there was about 7 or 8 people at that particular point, maximum of probably about 40 people sweep through. I fucked it off and I went down to the Royal Birth and I went and recorded with the Italian press and all the media down there. I don't know what's ever happened because they all said that they didn't believe what was going on. Hence, the Italian press clearly do know now, because obviously there was an Italian mother that came over here and had a child taken for forced adoption. I then attended The following year, when I attended the following year, I empowered a lot of parents. I was with Jason at the time. Everybody had access to one of the greatest social medias. Most of the people came from my coaching world. What people don't realize is my two worlds came together. So there was me as a mum, and then there was my coaching world that came with me, and then there were the people that I then met. For any of you who know Sharon Rain Dancer, she's one of my personal friends who's come from one of my other personal friends from the coaching world who stuck with you guys and stayed with you. That's how she came in. She was at my Courts prison. You would have met a lot of people at my Courts prison who come from a very beautiful world who have stayed and they're here. You know, one of my friends went off to the EU. Sabine wasn't one of my personal friends. It was a crossover of somebody that I met once I got down to Scott. I'd seen the petition. I hadn't acknowledged the petition because, like myself and many others, I say, you know, if social service is going to take kids, then you've got to have done something seriously wrong. You know, never ever would have I ever comprehended the severity and the depth of the failure for people that are labelled by the system. And yeah, that's why we started Them More Than a Label, which was with Monique Blakemore, who again was from my personal world, in my coaching world. So yet again, I got double trolled with the previous trolling stuff from the previous media, and then I got even more trolled by the likes of I don't even want to start popping names in, because the moment I do, that's it, they're going to backlash me, and I really don't have time for it. I don't have time for schoolboy bullying. I don't have time for tit for tat. I don't have time for he said, she said, my dad's bigger than your dad, my mum's going to kick your ass, my sister's going to pull your hair, my brother's going to rape you. You know, I haven't got any time for that shit. And I don't have the whole truth and facts, but I do know, and I can 100% say that Mackenzie friends that were working for John Hemmings were 100% abusing Asperger's women. We have a high mass of numbers that were recorded through Cambridge University of mothers who turned to this network, who were from the autistic world, Asperger's world, who had Mackenzie friends who were then taking blowjobs or sex favours in order for free appeals, that they were failing the families, and these children were being taken anyway. If a mother can't stand up to a Mackenzie friend, she can't stand up to anybody. I'm not here to call names on that. It's all going to come out in the book, so I have all of the paperwork for it. I have all of the paperwork for all the research that was done by Cambridge University, which had links and requests from James Mumby at the time, because they had to ask for permission for it. If you don't know what I'm talking about, then Amber can post a link down to the EU, where my video of the day that I was told that my appeal had been lost is up on the EU website. A whole network of people come out saying, oh, she's going to flip this over, she's going to go back to, she's going to make money out of it. It's never been about making money. I do need to get back to my career, though. That's the problem. I've been working for free for so long now. I'm not looking forward to getting my phone back, because once I get my phone back, it's going to be constant again. And then it means I have 4-hour phone conversations each day. I have people calling me in the middle of crisis, blah, 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 blah. And I'm not in a position to respond. I've got 2 little beautiful boys there who deserve a life. And one of the mums made quite a poignant message the other day, and she said something about she's got 2 children, she's got a child she needs to be there for. She can't get involved in all the other people now, but she can for her own justice to her children. She's got time for her own court case, and she's got time for her children, but she hasn't got time for the mass networks. It's not even the mass network we haven't got time for. It's the idiots that come with it. It's the jealousy. It's the misery. It's the, I want to be the winner. I want to be the one that opens this. I want to be the one that does this. I want to be this one. I want to be the one that saves this. It's not about that. And actually, any parent that I have worked with, I've pulled them out of these networks immediately. Every parent that's stayed in it has ended up losing their kids. I love seeing photographs at Christmas of people sending me their pyjama family photographs with their kids. And actually, do you know what's even really nice is when there was either, say, DV, separation of couples, he's a cunt, she's a cunt, kids have gone, when I actually see them as a separated couple, but sitting on the sofa in the matching pajamas with all of the kids, and the parents are at the opposite sides because they're not actually together, so the kids are in the middle. The ones that are together, the couple sit together and the kids go on the outside. But and they do say, look, we it never worked out, but you know, we get on for kids and stuff like that, and that's probably one of the nicest things about it all. So that's really beautiful. You know, social workers don't wake up in the morning and go, how many kids can I take? I actually have noticed the pattern in more than all of this, that when somebody goes on Google and asks for help, the majority of people that have lost their kids are people who've got stuck in that network and gone down that rabbit hole. They're the ones that have lost their kids, like me. I could have turned this around, you know, right back at that beginning. Probably if I'd listened to my mum. You know, as we all say, if I only would listen to my mum, and Jason, they all tried to pull me out. They all tried to pull me around. And, you know, when you've got somebody like me, it's like, what have I ever got out on faith back? I don't know. It was Wales. Come on. You know, Wales is the biggest fuck up in a lot of this. You say the family were doing this for a long time. I was fucked before he even got there. It's the moment I turned up with them kids, they'd already earmarked them. Do you know what I mean? They were gone. They would have found something. They would have got me on something. It wouldn't have mattered if I'd walked in with a fucking Lucozade bottle with Ribena in it, or even if it orange juice in it, they would have still written it on the report that mother was giving the child Lucozade. So you'd have had to have watched the beginning of this video on why I got a Lucozade bottle and why I was using that. But you know, and I think the crazy thing, just to wrap this up for why this annoys me with the whole Lisa Bartle stuff, is that, you know, it's all the same network. It's all the people back at the beginning in 2013, 2014 that caused me absolute horrendous, that I blocked. I shut them down. I shut them out. I disconnected from them, and I had nothing to do with them. And I think after sort of all the Rolling Brigade and all of the stuff, like, if you ever seen me on Andy Preacher's show since, me and I did Andy Preacher's show all the time. You've never seen me on it ever since. There's a lot of people's shows that I did. You'll never see me on their shows ever again. You know what I mean? They want the hype. They want the fear. They want they don't want the solutions. They're not interested in the solutions. They're too pain driven. They're too ingrained in the hate. They're too ingrained in the anger. They're too hot coal in it. You know, and you can't bring your children home like that. So. Oh, hello. Anyway, I've got to go. No, it's fine, darling. Phoebe, she's in bed, sweetheart. It's not a problem. You're not letting me. I'm sorry. It's okay. It's okay. Oh, I'm going to go. Someone's woken up. It's not a problem. Phoebe's laying in bed. Don't worry. I'll come and lay down with you.